From the edge of time beckons a destination, ancient, hidden, forgotten. This is Harbor Town. Harbor Town is an all-new series from Miniature Building Authority, the leader in tabletop gaming scenery. Unique, flexible, and playable, Harbor Town will take your games to a new destination.
What's up, dude? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm gonna have to take a little break. Just, my wife is leaving for a trip, so I'm gonna go.
That's fine.
Kiss her goodbye.
Where's she going?
Baltimore for a couple days. Very exciting.
That's cool.
Who is just gonna be me and you?
And Christoph from Greyhawk Online may come on. We shall see. But it could be just me and you. And maybe the ever mysterious Tim. He's got his in-laws over from wherever they're living now. So he's going to try and hop on as well. Take Mark's place. So.
Am I still on?
Just making sure you guys can hear us online too.
I can't resub. It's 5 more days.
That's fine. Yeah, not with Twitch Prime.
What?
Not with Twitch Prime. It's got to be done manually.
Yeah.
So, no big deal.
All right, there we go.
We're being heard, which is a good thing. There are too many things open.
I'll be right back, Jack.
Yeah, take your time. You're fine, man. So is Tim is thoroughly convinced both of you and Bill to play in his Saturday Night Special on the 14th, I hear?
Well, no, he didn't convince me. I told him I was playing.
Oh, okay. Well, Bill says he's been really asking him a lot, so which is awesome.
He hasn't asked me. Kim has plans that night, so I was free.
Oh, perfect time. That's good.
Yep.
That's good. See, sometimes it does work out.
Yep.
Oh.
I really wanted him to let me play. Just make her a fighter thief. You know, dual class.
Right.
Sorry, double, whatever. Dual class. So, she's specialized fighter up to 9th like she is. And then have her, be a thief like I want to do with Andrew.
Right.
But,
he wants to go commando.
He wants you to play test for commando.
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's a class he created. It's one step different than the scout he made, I think. So.
I actually think it's a little overpowered.
Well, we'll find out. That's what playtesting's all about. But it may not be overpowered overpowered than Tim's. So
I think it'll be definitely overpowered Tim, because Tim loves the scouting and the stuff like that. You know that's going to be.
It would be funny if Tim was listening right now. These guys are bad mouthing my class before we even used it. So sometimes you cannot tell the difference between good and evil.
I can.
Sometimes. Time to discuss the mage tonight, guys. Come a long way.
Pulling up the notes right now.
Yeah, it's very basic. I mean, there's some stuff. I kept it pretty basic tonight. I got a whole, we got a whole list of characters we can go over. Base magic users. Done a lot of stuff on specialties. Haven't really done a lot of stuff on
9, 10, 29, 30, 31, 37 progression.
That is the proficiency numbers. Proficiency system. Our proficiencies. 9's like toughness. Those are key ones for the mage.
Oh, okay. So you have to have extra. I understand what you're saying now. Okay.
Yeah, I popped up some of them that that we have. Well, some that help the mage and some that are specific to magic users. So.
Arathorn's higher than Kazumba?
Yeah, Kazumba's only she's critical class. So hey, what's up, Anna? Tim, the ever mysterious Tim says he is coming on, and Christoph was supposed to come on too. We'll see. So that's cool. All right, we'll go to the main screen here. Hello. Hey, Carlos? What's going on, man? Are you not working? Because you said you wanted to be on in this. I see CSL Entertainment. That's awesome. Yes, we're gonna talk about the Mage tonight, and we're gonna talk about some what we've done to spice it up a little bit. And I have my player and great friend and the oldest member of playing D&D with, Alan, all the way back to 1978. So I mean, my God, that's like 4 times our age. You know what I mean? We were like 11 and 12 years old then. That's insane, man. So I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Excellent players back then.
Yes, it wasn't Monty Hall or anything like that at all.
Not at all. All we do is have our main characters and lots of minions.
Yes. So, how's everyone out there tonight? Feel free to ask questions. And, for us, so you get a progression and you have your base classes, right? You have fighter, magic is your cleric, and your thief. And that's where you are in basic, right? And then, even in first edition, you're really not beyond that. When we were just playing true 1E, there was fighters and magic users and illusionists, right? That's it. So, like back in the day, some of your older mages, what'd you do to spice them up? And I'm talking about like in the old days. You didn't even play magic users at first, did you? It was really when we started playing first, that 1E, 2E hybrid in the Honors Arcana.
Yeah, we never played. Nobody played mages because they were just so weak hit point wise. Yeah,
completely. That's absolutely true. And then you had like the elf. Remember in the basic, you had the elf class, which was basically a fighter mage, way back in the day. I mean,
right.
But that was going so far back. But once we started our campaign and stuff, we had some. They were all multi-class. Except for Bill Laughlin.
Bill Laughlin, right.
But that was an NPC. But like player characters, and I popped some up. And if you go way back, like you have some, your key one that far back, I guess, is Arathorn, right? And he's not even first generational. He's like second generational.
Yeah, no, that was Herbie and Sam was my first generation. So
yeah,
Arathorn probably didn't start until I'm going to say late '85.
Yeah, because he was a Temple of Elemental Evil guy.
Right.
Yeah. First time. Yeah, but he was he's a Ranger Mage.
Right.
Half Elf Sylvan, Ranger Magic user, which you'd think is a kind of a weird combination, but it's an allowable combination in the original first edition rules. So, but it's really a cool combination as well, and it works very well for us. But yeah, that's probably your oldest. You think that's your oldest Magic user?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, none of my really old characters died. But I think that I went with that for my first Madge, and God, like I said, that had to be 1985 or so. And then Zizix didn't become a Madge until much later. Same with Mistis. So it was probably a long time before I played another Madge.
Yeah, and then when we started getting in the experimental stage with multiple characters, that's when we really started, multiple groups. We started going all over the place. So, hey, that's cool, Thunder. I went back, and I'm glad you're all caught up. And hey, I understand if you can't catch every show live, guys. That's I really appreciate it. And things are being. Last week was a whirlwind. Let's just say that as I digress. Leonard Lakofka, right? That was a record. Then Mark's group, it was crazy. And then we had Legends and Lore, which really kicked off. And then we had a new record on Thursday night for viewers by like 40 average. It was crazy. I mean, it was insane. Reaper Raiders. It was just me. It was Alan and Walt, and that was it. There was no one. It was just a quickie one-nighter, the fog, and it just I can't explain it. But thank you all so very much. I understand. If you guys can't make every one, that's it. Hey, real life stuff trumps. But thank you though for saying that. And Snafu, David, Leonard. Old school as it gets. For old like 1E, 2E, Gazumba's a triple class fighter clerk mage. He's 11 fighter, 12/12 clerk mage. And so and he's been around, I don't know, since like 83, 84. That character. So you get to the point where those old classic guys, they have a place in your heart being mages. But we didn't. I know Alan's wife's about to leave on a business trip, so he had to probably go say goodbye to her. We had, I guess, without the multi-classers, the class was kind of dead, except for an NPC's hands and bad and evil and pro NPCs, right? Even in the early 1E days, it was playing straight mage was you really played multi-classers the way we did, because we got away from level limits very early in the game because we didn't see why. And who was the first dual classer that you remember, Alan, that did like mage?
From a player point of view?
Yeah.
It might have been Arathorn.
That's a multi. I'm saying a dual.
Oh, dual.
Mistis?
Mistis, maybe, because, she got that from Lady Page.
Yeah. I had in the Skeeve campaign in Highport, I had a dual class illusionist / mage, and I like dual classing wasn't really the thing yet. And then when everyone figured out, wow, dual classing humans is a way to go, we implemented a 7th level limit in the first one, and then went beyond it. And then there's a lot of Magic users in the game that are dual class now.
It's so powerful now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you can throw on some you get a lot of hit points from a fighter, or you get some other skill. You can actually be a cleric or something. And then you throw in that match just to wow. And then the damage becomes ridiculous.
1 second. But it's still the Magic user just was missing something, and I don't know if it was our own fault by our play style. David, you dumped level race restrictions straight off, and we did probably in '83. we dumped them straight off. It just didn't make sense for us, especially when the Cavaliers came out. This is what I didn't understand back then. North Arcana came out, and they have this Cavalier class. There's no level limits on it for the races that it allows. So humans, elves, and half-elves can go to unlimited, but if you're a fighter, you can't. It didn't make any sense.
No.
You know? Yeah. That was really when the Arcana came out, we said, this is crazy. Plus, they had that crazy table where you have to have 20s and all the stats as a half-elf to become a certain level. It was insane.
Right.
Yeah, and Bill Master Crafter's on there. I'm going to throw out some shout-outs here real quick. He's right. It was a boring class, and we really had to work on. I got some. What's up, Sean Geek Dice? How you doing, man? We had to work on it, and so the discussion tonight is going to be how we did that, and some things we're working on. Alan especially came up with a great idea. And we're going to discuss that and just look at some things. And if your game's a little different, that's cool. I like Carlos, who's on in chat. He's a purist, so doesn't do all these little tricks that we do that we add on to. But it's something that maybe he would consider one day using one or two. And that's a great thing about the way Gygax set this up is you can make your game however you want. So
absolutely.
I just love that we always our game is always evolving. So so here I'm gonna pick your brain out. What's the last change that you think we made that was good
for the match?
For anything?
Oh, in our game in general?
Yeah. Just any one in the last 5 years.
Last 5 years.
Yeah, anything you can think of, like. We've had proficiencies for a while, but a specific proficiency we added, maybe?
Most of the stuff we've done, I'd say, in the last 10 years. So 5 years is a little tougher of a question. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Specialty Priest, which we've been doing for, about 10, 15 years now?
It's been a little longer than that, actually.
Has it really?
Yeah, it has. But I didn't do it the way I did with all them all written up. I think the Specialty Priest is one of our biggest boons that we've done, and it really... It's a second edition thing that we've really it sticks out. Now, I was thinking of the proficiency system change too, which goes back, I think, to 2009 we implemented that.
It's been a while for that too.
Yeah. So, hey, Tom, what's going on? So, thanks all for hopping on tonight. The ever mysterious Tim is supposed to hop on, and even Christoph from Greyhawk Online is supposed to hop on if he can get on. But we're just Alan and I are gonna chat up about some things of the game, and particularly in mages, what we want to say about how we made some cool changes to it. So Bill said the stuff is boring as hell, right? The straight mage, and if you're looking at it from a non-role play aspect, that is so true. So
the straight mage was so tough to play in our way of playing because at first level you got 4 hit points. You're not going to have a high con, so you have 4 hit points.
Right, and we do max at first level.
If you cast your one spell, then you're done.
Exactly, and I know they tried to in 5th edition. You have that beep beep, that ray of frost you can do every round, so at least you get damage every round. But for us, that's not the way we play. Now we've done some things to help mages along the way that we're going to discuss. Some things I didn't write down here, but I have kind of molded what we give away in treasure items to actually assist them a little bit. So let me see what but you're looking at race restrictions on class. We're looking at Carlos. We have race restrictions on class still. We don't have class level limits by race. So we love race restrictions. So
no, we absolutely follow the race restrictions.
Yeah, here you go. Here's our chart. I didn't put permitted races for AD&D Greyhawk classes. There you go. And this is all based on those check marks, those X's are which race you can play, which class. So we have this. We use that. It's like saying that the gnome illusionist can only go up to 8th level or whatever that we don't use. So yeah, always Carlos, always. So Carlos, pop up the date of your talk with Darlene. For us too, if you don't mind, put that up. If it's tomorrow night, please just put the date and time, and we're more than happy to do that for you. So playing OSR Sleep is my favorite spell. Well, Lawrence, that is true. That is a great spell. I mean, I rarely, and Aaron will tell you this. What is the spell I rarely give in a starting spell book?
Sleep.
Yes. Why?
It's too powerful.
It is very powerful, and it is very. For example, hey, there's the ever mysterious Tim is on. Hey Tim, what's going on? A sleep spell can take out 16 goblins because they're under 1 hit die, right? So that is that is a crazy amount. So I rarely give that out in the initial spell book. I usually like to have them find it or research it to do that. So what's going on with you tonight, Tim? Things good?
Yep.
That's good to hear, man.
I just was busy cleaning something up, and then I saw the text, and I was like, "Oh, snap!"
That's cool. Excellent. I posed this question to Alan. I'm going to pose it to you. What was your first real mage you played?
Fensig.
Of course, Fensig. Fensig predates Skeeve, correct?
Fensig he's just a little bit younger than Leuven.
Right. And here is the really trick question. Is Fensig, what is he, dual classed? What is he?
Single class magic user.
He's a single straight class magic user. Yes, he's like 15th level now. And
16th level.
16th because he went up.
Yes.
Yes, he's 16th level straight mage. He has a ring of regeneration. But when you want to talk about an exception to the rule, that's one of them.
Yeah.
Well, tell you what, that ring of regeneration changes it.
It does make it
any straight badge.
Well, it helps the straight mage in our style of gameplay.
Correct.
Yeah. So Snafu, David, you're correct on that. Magic Missile is a waste at first level, like a 2 to 5 hit point damage. But in the Unearthed Arcana, Firewater is a great spell at first level.
I would say, Jay, though, it is, but it also isn't. If you are, it depends on how detailed the rules are. In our rules, it's not that great. But if you're doing segments and interrupting spell by damage and all that, it changes it because you may have a higher level spellcaster about to wipe everyone out, but his spell takes longer, and you get that magic missile off, and he ruins the spell. You just saved everyone's neck with that little first level thing.
Carlos just put another. Yeah, that's true, Tim. You're absolutely correct. Carlos put up the next great charm person. That's a great first level spell.
Mm-hmm.
I like it because it's single target. Hey, occasionally I'll give away sleep. I mean, it's random in the book. Random into my dice rolls, right? So you want to put Jay's cheating dice up, guys? Now's the time when I'm setting up initial spell books for first level characters. So Carlos says hi to Tim, fellow military guys, and Tim's. We have. I'll do a quickie a shout out on that too, if I can find it, of course, because. There we go. There. So don't forget, guys, we're less than a month away from the next Saturday Night Special with Tim DMing.
Yeah,
so.
It's going to be inversely proportional to the ease of the last one.
Yes, absolutely. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this great free for all fight. So. Let me finish up my maintenance here, and when you see these names, guys, when these names come up after the first one, you guys are going to be like, cool. Also, please note the artwork that I am showing. I have specific permission from a gentleman named Dungeon Meister, and he is on DeviantArt and has some great Greyhawk graphics that I've been following him for like the last decade. And he wants to get his stuff out and has asked me that I can use with his permission, any of his pictures that he has. And he has some really cool ones we'll discuss tonight. So once again, I'm going to throw him up there. We want to check out his. He does a mix, a hybrid now of Pathfinder / D&D Greyhawk. But in the old days, like a couple years ago, he was doing 11 Greyhawk campaign with all the circle. He's got pictures of a lot of the Circle of Eight, and I have them up. So just wanted to give that out for everyone. So yeah, Carlos, very possibly. So, but that's okay, man. Don't get yourself in trouble at work. But man, thanks for hanging in there on that on this discussion. So, you come to like 1983, 85. Arthur Kinney comes out in 83, and
that was nice.
That was a nice time, except, we dumped the level limits at that time. And Cavalier showed it up for me when they had no class level limits on it for race. I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. So we got rid of class level limits in its entirety, and then we still had more and more and more multi-class mages. That was it, right? All sorts of types. Magic user thieves, magic user assassin, right? Druid mage was a big one. It's to this day a big one, right? So Alan, when did Zyzzyx come into play?
So we had a character. We had a friend named Wayne who would bug Jay all the time to play an Archer mage. Archer from Best of Dungeon 3, right?
Right.
And then he went to play Archer Mage, and Jay kept saying no. So I was like, you know what? This guy was kind of annoying at times, so I decided that I was going to figure out a way around the rules. Not that I ever do that, right, Tim?
That's right.
Exactly. Tim and I
are being creative.
Are the most creative in the group. And I said, you know what? I'm going to create a straight Archer, and then once he gets to a certain level, I'm going to change him over to Mage as a dual class. And Jay can't say no to that. I got him up. I didn't tell anybody who was doing it. I just played straight Archer. And I think he got up to 9th level or something, or 8th, or 7th or 8th level, or maybe even 9th. I said, I'm changing over to Mage. And Wayne almost fell out of his chair.
Yes. So that was the Wayneism at that time. At that point was Zyzzyx, ZZYZX, which isn't that a town?
It's a road on the road between Los Angeles and Las Vegas, and I've driven that road several times. I remember passing that road and thinking that would be a great D&D name for a character.
It's also like the last proper name there is in the United States, correct?
I guess so. Yeah. ZZYZX.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to get anything lower than that.
So, the question out in the audience was the early on for a straight mage because of low hit points. I think it was more boredom at first, lower levels. Because that's why everyone went the fighter mage route,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because after you cast your spell or your 2 spells, then you're a really weak fighter with no hit points.
It depends on the style of adventure you want to have. If you're going to be the brilliant kind of smart guy, then he's going to be straight mage. But fighter mage is way more flexible. Fighter mage thief, that's very flexible.
Yes, and it looks like Thunder said I played a fighter mage thief, and man, my butt was handed to me more often than not. And I'm surprised because we have Ulrich is a fighter mage thief in Tim's campaign, and for a little bit he was a crossover character for a bit, right? And he's a triple class fighter mage thief. I can't think of a lot of fighter mage thieves. I think I have Daphne's a fighter mage thief as well in the Ulick Defenders Against Slavery group in the Order of Ulick. I think she's another one, and I'm not sure about. But the progressions.
I don't remember what's.
Go ahead.
Candace, is she a triple or a double?
Candace is a bandit. Which one are you thinking of?
No, my Candace. Remember, I played him a couple times with the Temple of Elemental Evil with Phineas and Ferb.
I think she's a mage thief.
Yeah.
Dark Elf?
Yeah.
Dark Elf Mage Thief, yeah.
Mage
Thief is a huge one, and the hit points are shitty as hell, right? But one of the Walt's most powerful characters in the campaign and craziest characters in the campaign, Lena, is a Magic User Thief. She's 13th Mage, 15th Thief to this day.
It's a thief who can make themselves unseeable.
Right.
And fly. I mean,
Right. True,
and then
it depends on if you just if you say, hey, I'm a fighter mage, and I'm just going to walk in and toe-to-toe it like a regular fighter, you're going to get your butt handed to you. In Fighter Mage Thief, same way. You have to use the fighter ability so that you have better access to weapons, and you use the mage part, obviously, to be, and you use the thief part to be sneaky. So you've got to use the best elements and blend them. You can't decide, I want to combine them, and then I'm just going to go and act like you're a fighter, because they're not. They're not.
No, I always use characters like that. The mage softens up the person you're going to go fight.
Yeah.
And then you're ready to fight them when they're down to 7 hit points and you've got 48.
You use the magic to enhance whatever else is going on.
Trying to get you guys a little bigger.
Shocking grasp through your sword. You get a shocking grasp so that when you stab them, you just dump a bunch of hit points through the
right.
And Lena was gifted with a lot of massively I never give out ever again items like the Robe of Eyes.
You learned your lesson?
I learned my lesson there. So, yeah, I mean, David, you're correct. And Tim's character, Fensick, is a perfect example. He has super low hit points for a 16th level mage. Is it over 40? 42 maybe or something? It's low.
Yeah, he's pretty low.
Yeah, it's low hit points.
Well, I mean, he's also got low constitution. He started as a sickly, weak kind of...
Yeah. I think in our game that's what it was, Thunder. But when we got to 2nd edition, and this is, I'm trying to give the background on why we did what we did. Some of the stuff we have done only in the last 5 to 10 years. Particularly the one I'm talking about is the free extra spell slot. That was only 5 years old, as far as I'm aware of, Alan, right?
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it's longer than that, but it might be that.
Yeah, I think that was when we did it.
And we also did the other awesome thing we did for mages, and this is probably, I think, more important than extra spell shot, is the resistance reduction.
Yes, and we're going to get to that in proficiencies. Absolutely, it's a really good one. And Bill says if even that, he thinks it's less than 5 years. So, Bill, it could be. But by the time 2nd edition came out, and we were blown away by what they did to the mage, and they had all these different schools, and I'm like, I'm not screwing around with this. I'm not screwing around with a mage and illusionist having all the same spells. I'm not doing that. But we're not making invokers. We're not doing that stuff. The elementalists and the wild mages were like, I fell in love.
Didn't you toy around with that for a little bit?
I did, and it was a disaster. It was a mess. And I said, we're going away from that, from the schools. We already had a necromancer by this time. So the necromancer had already existed. My own custom one had already existed at this time. So we had the baddie, and we had the mage. And so we decided, I started messing around with making elementalists, which you discussed and the necromancer was already there, and the wild mage. And it got further away from a straight mage. No one wanted to play one now. I mean, you have an elementalist, right? You can't multi-class or dual-class elementalist. That's a no-no. You're not allowed to. Or wild mages. They have to be, that's it. And that was a rule we had because of the power they have. They get all sorts of bonuses. They get a couple extra spells, slots, and things. And, yes, ring of spell storings are in AD&D Thunder, and I love them. So
me too.
Absolutely, especially it's a great item. I'm going to tell you I'm going to tell you another item. We'll discuss this. Remind me, the Ring of Spell Holding, which is kind of taken off from some Tensor items that we did. So I'll tell you about it. Yes, sir. Bill just put it up as I was saying it. That's pretty funny. The Ring of Spell Holding is a great one too, and I'm going to put that down on my notes here to make sure that I discuss that in our enhancement phase.
That's the one that holds the spell, continues the spell for you, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And as long as it doesn't get abused, Tim.
I
do love some creative rules.
I know you do. I know you do. I'll throw 3 Tim heads up for that one.
Tim, you and I are in league in that together. We have gotten more items banned than anybody else.
Yes.
Seems true just because I wasn't there, but it's not my fault.
Well, Alan had an item break on him right in middle use because it was the 12th time in 10 minutes he had used it, and he threw it up, and when it hit a rock, and it snapped in half.
What was that?
That was Alan's arrow of direction. Because he kept on, you guys were trying to find something, and it's like an augury spell. An augury spell can really be.
No, it just points in the direction.
Yeah, but if you throw it up 12
times, no big deal, right?
Yeah, no big deal.
Well, you just make it only work once an hour or something, Jay. You know. You could
yes. And Dorgrim, you're right there too, and that's something that we have done. And I'm gonna show you guys what I do. I think it's it helped us, and it makes the character think about the direction they want to go to. So let's fast forward to the early 90s. We have the Elementalists, we have all this, and the mage is gone, right? Do we have a straight mage at all that had come up in the 90s to early 2000s?
No, I just looked at my entire list. I have no straight mages. I had a straight illusionist.
That was funny a lot. Yes, you did have a straight illusionist, but you dual classed her.
Yeah,
Skippy.
For a long time.
Yes, but you dual classed her. Skippy's kind of a joke. Skippy Blackrock's a straight illusionist, right?
He's awesome. He's a 10th level straight illusionist now.
Well, I mean, you have to work within the limitations of this particular magic paradigm. I mean, you got to memorize a spell, and then for some reason you're memorizing a spell you already know. I do like you have so much power, to be able to dish out the things you know. So I do like some of those alternate type systems. I enjoy those also in other games.
Yeah, but if you still look, man, it was tough slogging for the magic user back then. Bill says Kilgaluf, Crucian, the Haunted, but he never played them. And that was during the Mr. Happy time frame. So
Fensig benefited early on with friends. We basically were a team all working together, so we would divide treasure by who could use it, because it was just we were in survival mode, and he was the only match. So whenever he got a magic user thing, he ended up with a massive amount of scrolls, which actually got blown up by the Wizard of Id. He got fireballed, and they actually failed to save it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Up about 20 scrolls.
The Wizard of Id, I remember that. Yeah, and that's when he blasted, and that is such a classic, because the Wizard of Id that Tim ran, and I actually talk about it in the panels below on the Who is Lord Gazumba panel. Tim ran this adventure, and he had it was just Mark played it a little bit, but I had Hawk and Gazumba, you had Fensig and Leuven. And then we had all these like minions following us around, like that's the original Poo Poo Kaka and Ichabod, where but it was really only the 4 characters, because Mark played like once or twice, but it was like a 1-on-1. That was great. And then the Wizard of Id was Tim's mega dungeon, and then I made an ode to it, which was a lot shorter, a 3-level dungeon called what, Alan?
It was the Wizard Stidge.
The Wizard Stidge, yes. And it even has Pete and John's Ale House inside. Yeah, so that's a good one, too. I may pull that out one day and run that online, the Wizard Stidge. It's probably about 3 sittings, maybe 2, and get that done.
Yeah, the one I had was really big. It was back in the day of use the graph paper to its fullest.
Yes, you had to fill the graph paper every square inch. And those are the Alan Grohe maps you see online he posts, too. Every square inch of that graph paper is filled, which is super cool.
I can't believe that I had that. I don't think I even randomly rolled for stuff. You know how you can randomly roll what's in a room, or just
absolutely.
Let my imagination go.
Yeah. Definitely. So, guys, thanks, man. We got a lot of our VIPs on tonight. Really appreciate it, and got a good viewing audience again. And we all truly appreciate this. By the way, this is our last stream of November, so we won't be on again until next Sunday because of all the we're taking off for the holiday, which is cool. So you get to a point, and you're like, the mage is dead. What can we do about it? And it stayed dead for about, for us, I don't know, my gosh, 15 years, probably in gameplay. I mean, there's multi-classers running around all the time, because everyone usually had there was always a utility character in the group, right? So there's always a cleric mage in the group. Bill would always play him. Bill is big on that's just our score and everyone online. He's always big on playing the cleric mages. You got Bill. Who are your 2 cleric mages in the groups? You got the Raven Lady.
45, doesn't he?
What's that?
Does he have like 45 cleric mages?
Yeah, he's got a lot of clerk mages.
And my dad has one also.
Yeah. No. That's funny. No, the class itself for us had yes, Krizana and Annalisa are the two. Annalisa's in the Shieldlanders group, and Krizana is in the Legion. So you guys, that Adam running the Trials of the Legion 2020, going to be a big series of adventures. You'll see Krizana in that. Yeah. Plus he has some Druid mages too, and so does Alan. So
I only have one. The Nuts girl, the Nuts elf.
Yes, you do, but she's kind of cool too. Yeah, Carlos, you know what? But that's okay, man, because this is a show about what everyone does, and everyone gets to discuss what they do, and then we all take the information and we try and better our games from it, which is super cool, man. Oh, man. So, Bill, pick out a date for me online. I'm thinking it has to be that I did not really look at pumping the mage back up until 2009 when we started with this. That's what I'm thinking. It's around. It's that late. Well, extra spell slot's an older one, the proficiency system. So, yeah, 2009. So, second edition is great. Everyone's playing elementalists, right? Alan's got a whole plethora of them.
Yep.
We added a quasi-elementalist because I wanted to get lightning and radiance into it. Tim kind of made spells for the para-elementalist, right? The crystal stuff.
I think the ones I made actually fit quasi mostly.
I put some in quasi and I kept some in para, but all the crystal ones stayed in quasi. In para. So we have 6 different elementalists, which are specialized onlys. 1 in wild mage. A necromancer, and a pure old-fashioned illusionist, which that still gets multi-classed a lot too with gnomes. And the mage is nowhere to be found except in multi-class backup characters for the most part. So what do we do? 2009, I guess whenever third edition came out early on, started looking at. We had specialization for fighters. We had two-fisted fighting for fighters. But that's it. Also, the Neverwinter Nights games and the Baldur's Gate games came out in the 90s, and I'm like, I'm going to pilfer stuff from them. So I'm thinking, Bill, this may be a little bit earlier. I think it's maybe 2000 that we started thinking about it. And we decided that to take 2 things. It does have cantrips, Thunder, but I hate them. It does. Good question. Tim loves them.
Additional details.
Yeah, I don't like cantrips.
They're useful if you're gonna. Depends on how much into the minutia and time and the combat round you go. If you're gonna be super realistic, they're awesome. If you're gonna make it more abstract, where you can automatically pull a weapon or put something away, then I don't think they're as necessary.
Yep.
Because the present cantrip totally. If you're really how long it takes to pull something out of a quiver of wands, the present spell means you're instantaneously drawing a wand instantly, and that's a big deal if you're counting down segments.
So I'm sorry, Dorgrim, I didn't finish my thought on there. Yes, true on cantrips. No, you're absolutely correct on cantrips. That Tim has them. Mark uses them a little bit. Maybe we'll get back to them as we go look for a little more flavor. Maybe. You never know. But the question Dorgrim has is, we got to address this armor use with 1E characters in multi-class. We went backwards in that. So in the days of old Alan, what could a fighter mage? What armor could a fighter mage wear when we first started?
Plate mail, right?
Anything, yes, anything at all. And we said it doesn't make sense in the Elven setting, so we're going to back it up one spot. So banded mail is the best that a fighter mage or fighter cleric mage in our campaign can wear. We just said no plate mail. It's also for archers that can't wear plate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So banded.
Just your range of motion.
Yeah. So that's what we did. Yeah, I agree, David, on 5e cantrips too, for what limited knowledge I have on it. But that's what we did. Was we went with, Elven chainmail. Okay, fire mage, that's cool. Mage Thief, obviously, you got to have, it's only leather, but a Cleric Mage can wear that. We even allow bronze plate mail in some instances because it's kind of funny, because it's a much lesser armor class. It's kind of ornate, right? But plate mail is not allowed. Plate armor, field plate, no. That's so, and that's the way we handle it. So, we got to that, and that's a good question, man. Thanks for asking that. I don't know what armor because Gazumba's even wearing. He may have bracers on, or he may have bandit armor on to this day.
I don't think Gazumba wears armor, does he? Oh, you said Gazumba?
Yeah, I'll have to take a look.
He probably has parade armor as well as bracers.
Yeah, I think so at this point in it. So, oh my God, my brain just went off. So, the proficiency system, we have, and it started for fighters, and we're like, all right, there's all these cool fighting styles in these games now. Particularly Icewind Dale and Neverwinter Nights had it, right? You had the finesse fighters and all sorts of stuff, and I'm like, look, we got to take advantage. We got to figure out how to put this in our old game. So we started going over and pre-approving a list of proficiencies, and we had two-fisted fighting, and then we added defensive training, and we added toughness, because toughness was actually a feat. I think it's a 3rd edition feat where you just get +1 hit point per level, irrespective of con, and a couple other things that we added. And we also, the key thing we did was, I thought, oh, it's on the back. We changed the proficiency system to increase the levels on it. So fighters, instead of 1 every 3, it's 1 every 2 now. Clerics is 1 every 3 instead of 1 every 4. Mages is 1 every 4 instead of 1 every 6.
Yeah, that's so much better.
Yeah.
So those proficiencies were for weapons.
Yes, they were for weapons, but then we added in where it's either a weapon chosen or a special ability, either or your choice. And this was mostly for fighters, but we used it for cavalier. We used it for every class, but there wasn't a lot of spellcasting ones. And then I'm thinking, Bill, 2009 and 10 is about when we decided, why aren't we... I'm not a meta magic guy like in 3rd edition, but why aren't we just pulling some of these in with the mage and helping out, enhance the mage so people want to play it more? And I think that's about when we did it. So we haven't come up with a bunch of them, but we have, in our game, we have... I highlight 6 that are used a lot, and there's probably more, but that are used for spellcasters that they can take in lieu of. Yeah, okay, Bill. Yeah, I thought it was something like that. So, guys, like I said, please, thanks for the questions. Keep on discussing, keep on asking away. I know you guys are talking a lot about the 5e cantrip stuff and all. It is definitely. We got to this point, and I think when we get to the end of where we are, guys, Al, you agree, man? We're in a good spot right now with mages.
I like mages right now. I like we have so many different flavors, from the elementalist to the wild mage to a multi-class mage. I was just looking back through. I have probably the most amount of characters in your campaign. I think I have 67 right now. And I have no.
People are going to drop dead when they just heard that. He's not lying, guys. Say that again.
I have 67 alive characters. I have 15 inactive.
That's only like 1.5 a year. It's not that bad.
And I have 9 that are permanently dead.
Okay.
There you go. So,
including Alan.
No, he's not. He's not permanently dead.
I'm glad to hear that, because I always try, and it's a joint effort, as we're going to show a little bit with Alan with the Greyhawk Mage.
91, Jay, total characters I've had in your world.
Wow.
91.
Sean asked a question about how higher level they might be if there were fewer, and go ahead, Alan, and try and explain that, and Tim too, because you got a bunch too. Not that many, but you got a bunch. You want to answer that question?
I mean, I have friends who play one character only. And so they play one character, and that character just keeps going on and on and on. And, I mean, the reality is that all of a sudden now, once you get to a 6th, 7th level, you can't go back and play fun new 1st level adventures because you're too powerful. So I mean, I really think that it's a way to keep the game fresh. There's some personalities that would have never come around if it wasn't for me creating new first levels and having to think of new things. Whenever we create new first levels. I mean, the character we played on Thursday, which seemed to be kind of popular. Tim, you would have liked him.
Javid.
He's
a mage thief, Snafu. He's a mage thief. And he just asked that question. Are mage thieves popular? Thursday night, Javid was on. He's a mage thief, and he's the one with the split personalities.
He's got multiple personalities. In this one, he was a ladies' man. And he was buying drinks for all the ladies. And, if anybody watched the skit on Saturday Night Live, Ladies' Man, with Meadows, that's exactly what he was.
Get my Courvoisier.
Drink his Courvoisier.
So
giving love advice, and that was him. So it didn't get him anywhere though, unfortunately. And now
it did because she wanted to go out. The monk, and Skagith isn't on, so we can talk about it. The monk Urku, she wanted to meet up with you in the future. Because she's
that's not gonna happen though.
Because your personality's gonna change.
Oh, different personality by then. So you won't remember this night at all. I'll remember it, but he'll think it's silly because he's probably going to be a god by then.
Well, at some point, you get so high level, it's like, what? Okay, what would a real person do? You get so powerful. What happens when people are at the top of their game, the most successful? That's when they get the biggest amount of trouble. And they lose their edge, and they fall off. They hit middle age, and they start doing stupid stuff. Or what are you going to do? You're going to go, I'm going to go fight Tiamat. I'm sick and tired of dealing with, you've got to make it, like Derville is kind of like that, where she's 13th level Cavalier. She's bad. And so the problems can't just be, I'm going to hit this object with my sharp implement until it stops moving. It's got to be more complicated than that.
Yeah. So
you get to use the advantage of the experience and, her prestige and threat, and still get to, the stakes they're different. That's
but
all.
Sean brings up a good question, and we may be different than other campaigns, but my guys love to try everything, and so I keep it to a rule about every 2 years we do a new group of firsts. So I'm going to announce it now. Look for a new group of firsts the end of 2020.
What?
Right?
Excellent. I already got my characters ready.
Yeah, so Thunder asked a question. I know we're taking some cool ones from the audience. Do you ever run one-shot meat grinders? The answer is, if you watched the fundraiser event last March, and it's available, it's called Orb of the Dragonkind. You want to talk about? They fought a Miracle of the Chaotic with an Orb of the Dragonkind, 2 dragons and 3 beholders. So that's, if you want to talk about meat grinder and it was high level. And it was Anna played Mariel.
And we had people routing. We had people donating to the monsters.
Yeah.
Yes, we had contributions to give them plus ups.
Yeah. So the answer to that is yes. I do that. So and we have some fun, and the next fundraiser is tentatively set, guys. We'll talk about it at the end of the show, but we have a tentative date for our next. It'll be in 2020. It'll be no, it was not a necromancer. It was not a necromancer, Carlos. Maybe Geek Dice Sean can answer the question. The main bad guy was what? It wasn't a necro. He had in that one.
DM?
In which one?
And horror. You guys have Horror and Hools. You guys haven't. It's the one I made for.
Was it
Carlos.
A DM?
It's a specialty priest.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to say the word in case I was spoiling it.
Yeah. That's a great one, Thunder, to take a look online and watch, because I think we had 250 followers at that point, and we raised over $1,000 that night. It was awesome. Everyone was so generous. It was great fun. So, yes, Specialty Priest of Bullywug. Yeah, Specialty Priest of Washtree was the answer on that one. Sean played at Gen Con. He played Erebus, Walt's Dwarven Fighter Thief. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. All right. So the feat proficiency system we have is kind of unique. We took back third edition stuff, and we pilfered. And you can make up as many feats as you want. There's thousands of them, all sorts of different sorts of source books. We have right now. We've evolved into 39 that are allowed, and they're taken in the weapon proficiency slot. Now, here's some things you can't do. You can't take multiples. We had it that you could, and then we're like, this is not happening anymore because everyone's taking multiple toughnesses and defensive trainings. You can take it as a multiple if you get it as an innate in the class. Okay, so I'll explain that. For example, a Saxon gets defensive training at 5th, and as part of their class, they could take one as a proficiency as well. That would be an example of that. We have a lot of them that are combat based. And so we started taking these, we started putting these, and we're like, we need some to enhance spellcasters. What can we do? I don't like I said, Made of Magic's kind of cool, but and I know there's a lot of that casting at higher level spells in 5th edition. We haven't gotten to that point yet. We have a way to do that with Elementalists. It's right in 2nd edition, cast a spell 1 to 4 levels higher. Boom, that takes care of that, right? So, okay, no, all right. So, Carlos, that was Dex the Misunderstood? Okie dokie, hold on. Yes, I have him right here, because I'm ready for PAX Unplugged. Erebus, Tabitha, Dex the Misunderstood. Cleric, Necromancer. There you go. That's who you're thinking about, Carlos. Yes. So he will be used, and if Gitano's on, Gitano may be playing him in that adventure, because Gitano is signed up for both, Carlos, on Friday and Saturday. He's signed up for the lower level one and the higher level one as well. So, hey man, I'll catch you, David. Catch you in the near future. Thanks a lot for hopping on, and we'll chat about some things coming up. I know you got to crash, so you have a good one, man. Talk to you soon. Yes, so that's it. So he wasn't a mage; he was a multi-class. The necromancers are allow multi-class options as well. So assassin, thief, cleric, we allow that. So there he is. There's Gitano. Yes, Dex is a very good character, so you may want to consider that it'll be on the Friday morning game, which is the lower level one. So, all right, pick Tim. I know you don't know him too well, but do you know a feat that would help a mage that we have?
There's I've been reviewing them because I've been reviewing them to upgrade the City-State campaign. So
okay, cool.
I've been going through some. I put them in categories: combat proficiencies, so the proficiencies related directly to combat.
Yeah.
And then non-combat proficiencies, because I'm gonna broadband of proficiencies. But
okay.
There's the was it fast hands or the combat touch?
All right, so we'll talk about that one first. Battle touch.
Battle touch. There we go.
All right, so here's one of the six that I've highlighted for mages in battle touch. So what is battle touch? Everyone knows in 1E, 2E, what is the toughest thing to do a mage to an armored guy? Touch spells, right?
Touch spell. Right.
Yes.
Although you shouldn't have to he shouldn't be able to use his armored class because the armor doesn't matter if you touch him.
That's true, but it's based armor class 10 with magical modifiers plus Dex, right?
It can still get bad.
Right. Battle touch was a spell that was a ability of a proficiency that I said the spectral hand gives you +2 through touch, right? The spell. It's a necromancer spell though, right? Why not just create a proficiency called battle touch that allows them to get +2 on their to hit rolls? So battle touch is an ability a spellcaster could take, and a cleric could if they even wanted to. It doesn't matter. And a necromancer, the good thing is if they take battle touch, what happens, Alan?
Oh, no. Immediately after that?
Well, they take battle touch. What benefit do
they cast Vampiric Touch.
Right, they cast Spectral Hand. It's now -4. It's +4 because they stack. Right. So battle touch is +2 to hit, -2 to saving throws with touch spells. So that's one that we added in and allow anyone to take that. I mean, if you have spells that do via touch, like I said, necromancers have the advantage of the Spectral Hand, but mages don't have that. So it makes it a little bit easier to do that, spell you have to touch on, or what's called a range touch attack, which exists, I think, in 5th edition. You know, that could utilize, you could utilize this in the same instance if you had to. But that's one that we have added, and it works well for. Hey, what's up, Rox? How you been, man? So that's one. Alan, pick one.
Well, obviously we talked about extra spell slot.
No, go ahead. We haven't talked about it yet. So you want to do extra spell slot?
I think extra spell slot is huge, especially for the straight mages.
Okay. We did 2 things. We added extra spell slot. This is what it does. I'm sorry David had to leave before we discussed this, but extra spell slot is the following. 1 extra spell to cast. 1 level lower than the highest able to cast. So I'm going to use the example for everyone knows. 7th level mage. 4 first, 3 second, 2 third, 1 fourth, right? What if they take extra spell slot? Where can they apply that? Tim.
Third.
And
second and first.
Right.
Or.
Yes.
Or. Yeah.
So now you don't have to take an extra third. You could, when you memorize, you take an extra second or an extra first. Normally, everyone will take a third because third's damage dealing spells. So it goes 1 lower level than your highest level. You can take an extra spell. Now, this is not a stackable ability. So multi-class fighter mages tend to use one.
I'd be stacking it.
Multi-class fighter mages use this a lot. Mage Thieves take it occasionally, even though Mage Thieves need weapons more with their proficiencies. Cleric mages especially take this because they could actually, in theory, take it twice. Once for cleric, once for mage. Because it's just
fighter mages take it because they get so many slots.
Yeah, absolutely, and that gives them an extra spell to cast. Now, we put this feat in, and I'm thinking to myself, and Bill's correct. I don't think it's like 3-4 years ago. What we did was we did the following. We made this a free slot for magic users. When they come to 3rd level, they get this free, and they can also take 1 as a proficiency. So a straight mage. Straight mage only.
Well, straight
match user.
But I mean a straight illusionist, a straight.
That's it.
Wild mage.
No, wild mages get 3 bonus spells as it is.
Okay, how about Elementalist?
Elementalists get a bonus first to start off already. Yep.
All right.
It's only magic user or illusionist gets it free. Free at 3rd level.
Okay.
Straight. That's it. So that means that at 3rd level, I think the spell list is 2 first, 1 second, right? It goes 3-1. So now we've added a spell already to the magic user. So now the magic user has a little bit more bump up, and then when they turn 5th, I think 5th is 4-2-1, correct? And then it'll be 4-3-1. So we're bumping them up a little bit, and that's a freebie slot. So now that's one thing we've done to enhance the magic user, extra spell slot. All right, I'll pick one here. One that I think a lot of mages takes toughness. All right, now toughness is a proficiency that we've added that it's +1 hit point per level, simple, and you can't lose those hit points if you lose your con. It's irrespective of con. It doesn't sound like a lot, but 9th level mage is 9 hit points. It adds up. So it's a key one, a very basic one.
You can use all the help you can get.
Yep. All right, we got
points.
I know. I think fencing took it. I upgraded them.
Yeah, fencing took it just 16. Recently.
We got 15. Yeah, 15.
When he got to 15,
because I hadn't played him in so long, and it was like a new thing, and I was like, oh, he's going to take toughness. So it was 15 hit points.
Yeah, you
gained 15. Complains about too many hit points.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a good one. That's a good one there, and that's ripped off. I think it's Neverwinter Nights, or is it? It's either Neverwinter Nights or Icewind Dale. It's one of the two.
Homage or homage.
Homage, yeah, but it's a good one. It helped our campaign, so and it also makes it so we're not power gaming for con points. Right? That's another thing. People aren't worried about con points now. Everyone having 16 con, 18 con, or whatever. So
I'm still worried about that.
All righty. Tim, do you remember another one? If you don't, it's okay.
There's
I got 3 left.
Hold on. Don't.
I got one.
Yeah, go.
Reduce resistance.
Yep.
That to me is so unbelievably valuable, mostly because all we ever fight it seems like if you have a straight mage, you're destined to fight drow, demons, and undead.
Sprocket, we have some stuff like that, and we're gonna just, when we show Alan's new class he made that we're playtesting right now, there's some stuff like that in it, which is cool. And some of these feats have it. All right, resistance reduction's a big one. This is probably the most sought after one for those fighting demons, devils, and dark elves, because this is what it does. Resistance reduction. Target magic resistance reduced -5% level to 5th, -3% above 5th. So for example, when you hit 10th, that's 40% off their magic resistance. Now, you got to remember, that's based on that 11th level caster. So if a dark elf is at 50% magic resistance, which would be a first level dark elf, a 10th level mage casting a spell on them they'd still have 15% magic resistance. Because it would still go up 5% because it's based on 11th, but it would go down 40. So demons that have like 60-70% magic resistance, it knocks it down a fair amount.
You guys could have used that.
Yes. Thunder, we roll stats up. We roll stats using the old 6x6 method, and then I allow a custom creation thing. So, for example, a lot of guys now, I appreciate that question, man, a campaign question. A lot of guys do the following. I want to play this, okay? So, like Alan will say, pick one of your last 3 characters, Alan.
Last 3?
That you wanted to play it for a specific reason.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah. I'll give you an example.
What kind of came up with a story idea before the die roll?
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. We come up with ideas that we plan and discuss between the group before the group is made. So.
Oh, let's do Benean.
Yeah, Benean, absolutely. Sylvan Elf.
Yeah, he's Sylvan Elf, and he was the guy who he's basically got a very short temper. He loves to fight. He's a straight fighter, and but he's unbelievably afraid of
No, I'm sorry, Sprocket. 3 die 6 times. 3 die 6 times. I'm sorry for each, not 66. My bad. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we can use 66?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, so Benean was a Sylvan Elf that had seen things that were going on in the SUS.
Right, and wanted to make it so when I rolled up the fighter, I basically obviously put I wrote a computer program to roll up.
Yeah, we have a custom. Alan has a program to do it.
I was tired of rolling all the dice and rolling them. So I created an Excel spreadsheet with a random number generator built inside it that automatically calculates it, and it gives a list of different all the different stats based off Jay's methodology. And if I'm looking for a fighter, I'll roll until I come up with the first time that I come up with a reasonable fighter stats. If I say I want to play a fighter and the first stat is 6 strength, but he has 18 intelligence, well, that doesn't make much sense for a fighter.
It's 6 times in each, Thunder. It's right in the system. Hey, Mike Wilson, what's up? Thanks, Mike. Mike, I love your Temple of Elemental Evil game, man. I love what you're doing there, man. On that Saturday night, we got to get you some more. More people got to be watching that because it's so cool. It's the Fantasy Grounds and it's so detailed. It's awesome. So, yeah. Thanks. Thank you for saying that. So, yes, Alan. My guys are to the point where I trust them, and if I see something that's an abuse, I'll say, "Hey, you got too many 18s," or "You got this character doesn't work," and so they develop up the character. We roll it up, and so Benean, he doesn't have 18 strength, right? 17.
I don't even know what he has, to be honest.
Yeah, I got them right here, but keep on talking.
I got it right here too. I got hold on.
Keep on talking.
1853.
Okay, he does. He's a Sylvan Elf though, so he got plus.
Right.
He got +1. He got +1 to his roll. Sylvan Elves get +1 to strength, so he has 17 roll. So
He's got really low intelligence, really low wisdom, really low constitution, like an elf would.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I let the people mold their characters to what they want to play. And now sometimes they'll say, "I'm just going to wing it," and whatever comes up, and that's the way we do it. And Tim's group, go ahead, Tim. Tell them what you do because.
I was actually going to say a finder. I wanted to make the scout, and so it's like, I didn't roll this high enough, and so we adjusted because the whole idea was to play that class.
Right.
What were you saying?
Yeah, and we meld the character in, and they're reasonable. They are, and it's to the point where my guys know what they can and can't do. So that's a great question. I appreciate that.
Hey, you allowed me to do a character with all 18s.
Yeah, but that's a joke. I mean, he's from the future, right? He's yeah. But,
it's a straight match, so
yeah, he's a straight mate.
Straight really doesn't help you all that much.
Yeah, it's kind of a joke. So,
but he works out all the time.
Yeah.
He's like from the Star Trek timeline.
Exactly. He was. Yeah. So I had a story behind it, and it didn't really affect the game, so you allowed it.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-6 in order in basic Sprocket's a way to roll too. I mean, that's the way we all came up with our first characters. So you have resistance reduction is great for fighting those things with magic resistance, the infernals of the worlds. You really need to. It's something that every good party should have a spellcaster with it in. So I got 2 left. Bill mentioned one, and now I'm going to mention the other one before. And this one, you wouldn't even think about it, but it's called weapon. It's just called proficiency. Now, here's what we decided. Gandalf. How the hell is Gandalf fighting with a longsword? Okay, D&D. Theodane, the elf from Circle of the Eight, has a longsword or something you normally use. How do you handle that? So this is what I decided. We're going to make a proficiency that allows use of non-class weapon, but it can only be taken if you're 10th level or above. So, for example, a mage finds a longsword that he loves. It's a +1 longsword, but it's got spell storing on it, and it talks, and he wants to have that as his companion or whatever. He can take that as at higher level, and he can utilize that. That's what we said. When you're higher level, you can get special things like that. That's the way we handled it. So that's one for like the high level mages.
And the reality is, once you get to that level, I mean, you're a 10th level mage, you're not fighting with your longsword.
Yeah.
Not until some things go really wrong.
So Thunder, I'm gonna answer your question in a second. And the last one is spell extension. Okay, so spell extension is the following, and this is good for clerics, very good for clerics. Increase spell duration by 1.5 times. 1 spell per 4 levels per day. So at 5th level, you'll be able to do it twice, 9th level 3 times, and so on. So, for example, I'll go to clerical. Bless. Bless is now 9 rounds if you extend it. For a mage, mirror image, extend that, right? You can't expend instantaneous spells. Shield is a huge, shield's as long as it is. Strength, 1 hour per level. It's one, whatever it is. Extend that. I mean, that's another thing we added to enhance.
If you use it, the high level ones like True Seeing.
True Seeing on the cleric, absolutely. That's another one. Yes, big one.
I just did it with last night or Thursday night with Aid.
Yes.
And with
you did.
What's the other one I did it for? It was
not Godspeed.
Oh, Divine Raiment.
Divine Raiment. Yep. So.
Yeah, because at last 2 rounds per level. Well, all of a sudden now it's lasting 3 rounds per level.
Yep. So we've added that one as well. It's called spell extension. So those are 6. Now, we searched the world for more that will not imbalance the way we play 1E2E miniature style. It's hard. But here's some other things we've done. Now, let me answer Thunder's question. Have you ever had a chance that character to meet a stat requirement, but obtained an item that would poke them up to meet the class after the fact? No, they did not move to the class, and we've used, like, for example, the Chalice of the Shieldlands is an item that would allow a fighter to be a paladin for a quest. We've used that before. That's a great item. It's right in this book. Right? Okay. We also have had some characters with awful stats. Now, a lot of them are made on purpose. Alan has Flid, Bone Bruiser, right?
And he's not strong enough to be a bone breaker.
Yes.
He only bruises people's bones.
Yes. Now,
he's a half-orc fighter, and he's got, I think as a straight fighter, he's got, I'll say 11 strength.
Yeah.
I had Nodnol.
Nodnol, yes, you did. And your dad had Dristan or something like that, and his stats were god-awful. But
Nodnol was just average. Everything was average.
Yes.
The fighter specialized with crossbow.
And that's fine. I mean, that specialization really helps out. The worst stats of all in the campaign belong to Lord Mayor Ichabod of Glyptal, who has no stat higher than 11. That's his highest.
And so, he's average. He's an average guy.
Yeah, but yes. And he's double specialized with Footman's Pick. Yes. And Lord Mayor Ichabod's the one. So, very, very cool. For a guy that showed up with a character with 3 to 18s, I kind of rolled my eyes at it. Yeah. You know what? Everyone, we tried to make one of our emotes the following: the DM's Crushing Fist, which I have to bring out once in a blue moon, /in. So you just DM's Crushing Fist that character at some point.
Another thing, too, is that, like you, stats do not make the game.
That's true.
They're enhancements, and they form whatever. But the reality is, if he's not a good player and he's not going to work out, then it doesn't matter if he has 18. I mean, strength, okay, he may do a little extra damage, but that you can,
right?
You know,
right?
You can,
Definitely,
you can handle that. Throw one more thing at him, but
yes, stats don't make the game. The players make the game.
People that worship the stats generally they're not good players, really. Generally, I think.
Okay.
In general.
Yeah. And we have some characters with higher stats than others in the game, and that's just the way it is. Think about it, paladins have to have 17 charisma. Cavaliers, a cavalier paladin has to have 3 stats that are 15 or higher and 17 charisma. That's crazy, right? Druids have to have high wisdom and high charisma.
Yeah.
Monks have to have like crazy stats. No Skagith yet, so we're safe. So there's a lot of different ones that you have to do that are that way.
It is easier to like roll with Alan's program. You can roll a lot really fast just to get the good.
Oh yeah,
a good roll.
Put the F9 button down and you just keeps recalculating.
Boom. No.
Exactly, Carlos. Players make the game. Thank you for that. All right. So how do we enhance mages? This is what I do. If you watch Thursday night, you will know what I did. By giving out certain items. This is what I like to do on items. So, number 1, don't just give out bracers of defense. Give out robes and cloaks and stuff. I call them the robe of the thaumaturgist, or whatever the hell that is. The robe of the wizard. Sorcerer's robes. Robe of the necromancer. Now, what do? Normally, you make them a little bit higher in armor class than a bracer in its comparable stages. So, if you're giving out bracers armor class 4, you want to make it as 5 or 6, or maybe even a 7, but give it abilities. So give them that robe in lieu of bracers, and then give the robe special abilities like bonus 1st and 2nd level spell slot. Something like that, or +1 to cold resistance and 1 bonus 1st level spell. They're going to wear that over a better armor class any day of the week, right? And that's what we do. That's right, the way.
And then a thief or fighter can't steal the bracers if they got a good treasure pick anyway.
Yes,
they can't use it.
Exactly. It's not something. It's a waste. So your greedy Fritz-like character is not going to take something with spellcasting abilities on it, right? Oh, this is cool. And that's a real douchebag, and then that's a simple way to get killed in the party. So that's one thing. Mix up the items. Create some of your own items. Give it some extra abilities. Do it with weapons too. You can give a dagger of frost, for example. +1 it's +1 weapon, but it gets an extra point of cold damage. And my gosh, it enables the spell. You can cast Ice Knife once per week or something, or gives you something like that, or it enhances a category of spells that the caster already does. So my guys don't all go fire. So, for example, a mage who has a lot of cold spells may want that item. It gives you plus 1 point for damage per level on a cold spell. I've done this called I have a Staff of Night that one of Mark's characters has. Staff, plus 0 staff. Axe, it gives her 1 point per damage on a cold spell. Imagine Cone of Cold now. It adds 10th level. That character's going to hold into that staff. It's a plus 0 staff, but they want the 10 extra points, right? Instead of 2 to 5 per level, it's now doing 3 to 6 per level. So I gave out one of those a couple weeks ago as well. Yep. So, Alan, what other suggestions do you have for mages?
What other suggestions or what other?
Yeah, for like our base mage. We're going to talk about your class in a second here. We're going really good on time here.
So. Yeah, so, I mean, I can't recall the last straight mage that was played. Can you even think of one? Straight mage.
Straight mage. There has to be some because we have multiple abilities with we're using it more. So I'll have to take a look.
I can't think of any, and I actually, as you mentioned,
I thought your one guy was an illusionist now. It's an illusionist, but
no, yeah, now I'm talking about straight mage. I believe that my next first level character is going to be a straight mage.
Right.
I have one of them.
Cool.
I was toying with the idea of an elementalist, but maybe just a straight mage.
Yep.
But yeah, so I mean, the ideas for me are mages. You have to have a group that, especially at lower levels, is basically geared towards protecting them, knowing that at 9th level,
right,
they're game changers. So you really have to have a good group together, as Tim said. You have to venture as a group, knowing that, hey, right now this guy's not pulling his weight. At first level he's shooting his one magic missile or whatever it is, and all right, I'm done.
Yeah. Also, I think Jay's like, let's face it, if you have a mage who's really super qualified, he's smarter than you are, really, anyway. So you have to be able to say, hey, with his 17 intelligence, does he notice anything, whatever? And so, Jay might check and say, he notices something, or,
yeah,
gives him a nugget of wisdom, just because you're playing somebody who's more intelligent than you are, probably, or more intelligent than me.
But I think there's hope for the one other item. All right, this is a big one too. I'm sorry, I forgot this one. I said I was going to go back to it. It's in my notes. The Ring of Spell Holding. I've gone a couple of different ways with different, like it's called a Necklace of Spell Holding, Brooch of Spell Holding. It's a item that can really get abused, but I like it for characters that have a niche. So, example, Alan's got a fighter mage who loves shooting with a bow, and what does she do with her Ring of Spell Holding?
She takes Tensor Steady Aim and puts it in there.
Tensor Steady Aim. Now, we're going to talk about all the Tensor spell. Tensor Steady Aim allows you to do the following. Move as far as you want and still fire with no penalty that round. It's right in the ball. So Ring of Spell Holding is a cool item. Different from a Ring of Spell Storing. You're placing the ring in, and it basically gives you as if you cast that spell on yourself. So that's one.
If you think about what it does for her, she starts out the round and she's 160 yards away from a character, right? Well, I can move 120 in a round, so now I'm 40 feet away, fire two shots at him. Or theoretically, I could, run 60 in to get in close, fire, then run 60 back to get out of range of some spells or something. It's a phenomenal tool, and I mean, she's not a specialized fighter or archer, so I mean, she just shoots a bow, so it doesn't do a world of damage. But still, it makes the character really interesting.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, is to create more flavor and differences in characters. I think that's the idea behind it. So.
I agree 100%.
Plus, I am looking for, I always hope that, the person who gets that item will utilize it in a unique, good way, instead of giving yourself mirror image permanent or fire shield in there, and then I'm going to have to crush him. Well, fire shield especially.
Well, I mean, if you have it on and you have mirror image, one of the images gets hit, it's still dispelled, right?
That's true. So that is a true case. What about fire shield, Tim?
That's a great idea.
I'd rather do stone skin.
No, because that
those get dispelled.
Yes, but Fire Shield does not. All right, so
that's a disturbing.
Yeah, we're coming up with a lot of disturbing things here. All righty. If you do not have this book, I suggest you go get it at some point, everyone. Now, I'm not saying run out, but this book is there we go. It's underrated. It really is, and everyone says it was rushed out to print. I don't care, because of one thing, and it has great detailed Circle of 8 spells in it, right?
Yes, it does.
It does. So just put a Fire Shield NPC against the Fire Shielded character and give it a feedback loop. Oh my God! But what if one's hot, one's cold? There, Mike. What do you do then? Oh my gosh!
Then you die.
Yes.
That's great. It should be something like a retributive strike.
Some of these, yes, absolutely. Some of these spells may be a little off, a little weird in here, but they're all RP flavor. By the way, I'm going to go over Dungeon Meister's picks now. This pick up here now, to the left, Jalarzi Salivarian. The next woman over is Laura Hiley. That's a PC in his campaign. The girl in the back, that is Mariel that Anna plays in our campaign now. Her Jalarzi's, right? Jalarzi's a friend. And then there's Otto, and the redhead guy. So this picture, the guy to the far right standing, that's Drawmidge. Okay, so that's actual picture of Drawmidge. And there's her 3 PCs sitting down, Laura Hiley and Aleda and, God, I forget the Elven Warrior's name. That's in their campaign, but that's another great picture of Drawmidge from the Circle of 8. All right. This picture, of course, everyone knows. I had it on the ad. This is Mordenkainen, and the entire group behind. That's all player characters. So very fantastic job as well. Let me link up. His DeviantArt as well. Okay. All right. So these are a lot of these characters, players, people we're going to be talking about. This. Who's that sitting down? Tim Allen. Who do you think?
Let me zoom in a little bit here.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I agree with this one, but who do you think that is?
Is that one of the new Circle of 8 guys?
No.
Is that Rary?
No.
I don't know.
Still Laughlin?
It's Tensor.
That's Tensor?
Yep. I don't know if I agree with that one.
With the superhero boots?
Yes, correct. It's Tensor. I always see Tensor as a little bit more young and vibrant, but hey, this could be after he was freed. So he's in blue.
I was thinking that guy looks too young, but maybe
that's Tensor. Yeah. All right. This is a fight in the Great College of the College Library, College of Magic Library, fighting Alops, and that they're all player characters. But I thought, hey, it's right in Greyhawk. It's a really cool scene. And then this is Laura Hiley and Aleda studying in the College of Magic, trying to find something. Pretty neat stuff. Really great stuff. And so, like I said, I'm allowed to use any of his picks for whatever purpose. So I'm going to show his stuff because it's fantastically done. I mean, I wish I had that talent, 1/10 of that talent. So pretty neat things. It's got a whole bunch of really cool stuff on there. So, Alan. Let's talk about the big thing of the night, guys. This is the playtest Greyhawk Mage class. Why don't you go about your background and why you did it and what you're trying to accomplish, and then we'll talk about it.
So initially the way I started with the Greyhawk Mage was it was just an idea for a character, and that's the one who has the Tensor's running warrior or Tensor's steady aim. I called her a Greyhawk Mage mostly because I only wanted to take books that were named or spells that were named after the Circle of 8. She just worshipped the Circle of 8, so that's why we started. And it was a decent idea, but it was missing something. So Jay told me to kind of go back and rework it a little bit. So I spent some time and I came up with a new combat match. So what I wanted to do was kind of combine what we have in like a specialty priest, where it's a little bit more, actually maybe more like somewhere between a specialty priest and a crusader for the mage side. Something like close to the elementalists. So I figured let's do something, a Greyhawk Mage. The Greyhawk Mage is somebody who is tied to the Circle of Eight. They are almost like, I don't want to say spies, that's not the right word, but that's their primary allegiance. Yes, they'll join your group, but their primary allegiance to the Circle, and they report back to the Circle and any new information, new findings they have to help the Circle. They're kind of like the Circle's eyes and ears out in the world.
And they are apprentices of Circle of Eight members.
Correct.
Now,
So,
this may lead to a problem if someone chooses rarity spells or Autoluke, but we will have a proxy, a higher level, person.
Right.
Yeah, so those are still accessible. Yep.
So, yeah, you have to be a straight mage.
Straight only.
Mage. You can't be dual class or anything like that. You have to be non-evil, just kind of like you're preferably neutral, like the Circle is. And once you get to third level, I think it's third level, you have to choose who your mentor is going to be from the Circle of Eight.
Yes.
And then you get bonuses on their spells. So, for instance, the one I'm doing right now is following Nistel. Nistel is their primary, and so she gets special spells just from Nistel. And gets to cast them at like 1 to 4 levels higher. Like,
there you go. The Sprocket said, yeah. So must pick a mentor from the Circle by third level and responsible to them first for anything they do. You also get a free spell for their spell book from the mentor's spell list. Once they select their mentor, then cast one of the spells at 1 to 4 levels higher. That's a pretty nasty thing. So this character D, who's named Yolande after Lady Ralta Queen Yolande, because she's from the same family, has who do you have?
So Nistel, she worships Nistel, or not worships, follows Nistel.
Yeah.
And she is now, I guess, what, 4th or 5th level now?
I think she just turned 5th.
Yeah. So kind of some things, because I wanted them to be a little bit more combat than a normal match. So at 4th level, they can now use short swords. So they become proficient in short sword, so they can actually fight a little bit better. And actually at 7th level, they can use a long sword. They can wear up to chainmail. And they get proficiencies a little faster than most mages.
Yes. So if you look on here, on this list here, all right, so they get +2 on saves and -1 point per die damage on named spells they have in their spell book. Okay, named spells. That doesn't mean just initial spells. So I'll give you an example. Melsass's Arrow, if there was a save. -1 point per die damage you get, though, right?
Yep.
Okay. How about, I'm trying to think, Agonizer Scorcher. Yes?
Yeah, there's no save on that.
Right, but you get 1 point per die damage reduction?
Yep.
Named spell. So we're talking about named spells named after specific spellcasters in the spell listing. Okay. We have a lot of spells by a guy. I'm trying to find them online. Alpha, another one would be another one. And this could be elementalists or anything like that. So they get, at 4th level, they can use a short sword. At 7th, they can use a long sword. Okay. They can also wear some armor a little later on, right?
Yep.
And they get weapons proficiencies. Here's the special list here. They got to pick the mentor. 50% of the spells they memorize have to be from these Greyhawk books. So it has to be from here. Has to be from the Greyhawk, from the spells from here. We're going to talk about that shortly. They get at 3rd level, they get a 25% increase in duration spells. At 9th, it increases to 50. So they get that spell extension basically as an ability. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
And like if you read down towards the bottom, actually you don't have it up yet, but at the bottom, their loyalty goes in this order. Number 1, Nistel. She's loyal to Nistel. What Nistel says goes.
Right.
Then to the Circle, and then to their adventuring group. So if they're doing something in the adventuring group that doesn't coincide with what the Circle or what Nistel wants done, she won't do it.
Yeah, and so that could come into play.
They will make that complicated.
I could seriously do that. You never know. I haven't yet, but I could. And so this is meant to be a rare class, right? But there is a lot of possibilities with this. If anyone ever played Dragon Age, and if anyone has played the great Dragon Age game, all the games out there, you know that there's a hybrid mage that got some, I forget what they were called. They weren't wardens, but they were called something, the mages, where they got a little bit, very minor combat ability. This kind of reminds me of that kind of, it was like stewards or something. Reminds me of that a lot, which is, I think, why it's cool. So their experience.
I have a question.
Go for it.
What about the experience points table? Is it pretty much the same? And the spell table, as far as are they the same as a regular man?
No, yep. It's the same as a specialty priest. Okay, they're at minus 5%, right?
Yeah, you're talking about the actual table itself. Yeah. It's on the Mage table.
It's on the Mage table, but they're at minus 5%. Right. So that's why if they have 16 strength and 17 intelligence, they get plus 5. So like specialty priests, you're minus 5% on the cleric table. The highest you get bonus is plus 5. Same difference.
So instead of getting a bonus, you really just break it even on the regular.
Yeah, you're minus 5% if you're not getting the 10% bonus. Yeah.
But right. But using the Mage numbers.
Yes. Yes.
And then the spell you get per level is
it's the Mage table, but you do get some. Yeah. Right, you get yeah.
I was just checking.
Yeah, it's good, man.
The other thing I threw in here is how they fight. So
I don't know, Alan, that sounds pretty good.
It's fun. I like the character so far. So at first to fourth levels, they fight on the Mage table. I think it's at fifth they fight at the thief table, and then at ninth they fight on the cleric table.
Yep.
So they step up tables too as they get better as a little more aggressive with their weapons.
They never get multiple attacks. They never get. They're never increasing stuff. It is if they're attacking, it's in desperation. Or they're out of spells and they're fighting, and in our style of play, there's a shield thing there that's taunted the monster. Hey, go up and beat it, right? So
right.
Yep.
The other thing the other last thing here that we didn't talk about on these characters that is interesting is if they find a spell out there that's kind of new or rare that nobody has, and they bring it back to the circle rewards them with 2 free spells in their spell book.
Yep.
Because it's something unique and different. So they get 2 free spells on top of that. And they can choose any spells they want from anybody's spell book.
Here's the one big drawback, and Alan has had this happen where he had to pull a character out. But remember, he has 3 in that group. They have to return to Greyhawk to train.
Yep. They can't. They don't just level like everybody else. They've got to pull themselves out of the campaign for a month and go back and train.
It's not a month of my time, guys. It's a month of game time. Understand? It's a month of game time, not a month of our time. Yeah. And then, so
it's your time to go back and report out on everything you've seen. Right. Bring everybody up to speed on what the groups in whatever area you've been assigned to are doing.
It makes sense. You have to debrief.
Yep.
Right. So that's why I kind of made the character do it, something a little bit different. And so far, it seems to be working pretty well.
I agree. I like it a lot. We play test the hell out of stuff, or at least we give it a shot, just like the Maester with Bill, and that works great. This class, I think, is going to make the cut. So we've only had one not make the cut ever because we've thought through them with great forethought, and everyone knows what that one was.
Jay's Dominatrix.
The Dominatrix, but that was more of a I was losing my mind at the time kind of deal. So.
And that's different now. How?
Exactly. I love that you say here they're encouraged to go out in the world and find new spells, bring them back to the college. Also, they're encouraged to learn how to fight and enhance their fighting with their spellcraft. So that means, their spells. So they can. He's a Nistal. What's the word? Apprentice.
Disciple, whatever. Right.
That doesn't mean she can't take the tensor spells.
No, not at all.
But she uses the Nistal spells as her main.
With
spell.
the extra bonus.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and this great Nistal spells. I mean, she just finally got to the level where she can cast Nistal's Radiant Baton, which is a fabulous spell. If they hit you in the round, you automatically hit them back that round. So, if they win initiative and hit you, you automatically hit. Doesn't matter if you're fighting. All you got to do is
put her fire shield on and then let her hit.
Exactly. So you can turn the baton really cold or really hot. Spell it.
This class has got potential. I mean, Alan does the most in mages. Will another player play one next time around? We'll see. You never know.
And it's fun too to for a straight match. I mean, when they get to high enough level, they can get with the DM and work on the magic things they've been interested in for years. Especially if you've had a hiatus between playing them. Like Jay did that for fencing, where he had some carrion crawlers, and so I said, well, I want him to make a spell that's related to carrion crawlers and then make a magic item.
Yep.
So he gave up a lot to do it, a lot of spells and money to do it, and worked out the details. Some things he says, no, that's too much, and so worked it out.
Yep. And that's the way it should be.
Fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit of a change of the game. Twists in the game are good for both sides, for player characters and for the bad guys. So, guys, I'm going to do a general call out to you. Here's where we are. You would think there's not enough spells to do this, but there are. So this is the list. This is, for example, Bigby's list. The reference to the right in parentheses tells you where the spell is. Most of them are Greyhawk 2 is this, Greyhawk Adventures. You see Bigby's Interposing Hands in Player's Handbook, Clenched Fist, Crushing Hand are all in Player's Handbook. Player's Handbook, or this one for the majority, but not all of them. So and there's Bigby. Then we have Drawmage. And Carlos had Jim Ward on his show, on his talk show a little while back, which is kind of cool. And notice they're all the same thing. Most of them are in this book. And you got Drawmage's Instant Summons, which is in the original Player's Handbook. So, all right. Mordenkainen has a lot of defensive stuff and summoning spells. He's got a lot of stuff in Arcana, too. Like Magnificent Nash and Lord Mordenkainen's Lubrication. There's a lot of different things. He has Mordenkainen's Force Missiles is in the Player's Option book. And, of course, the great Tim's thing, Mordenkainen's Disjunction, which we all hate a lot. So, but
why is that?
Yes.
I always thought you did it first.
So, yes, absolutely. Nistel, there you go. There's Nistel's listed. Alan's character D is using, uses Radiant Baton a lot. Nistel only goes up to 5th level, which is strange. You know, that's where it ends. So, but Nistel's got some good spells. Everyone knows Nistel's Magic R is the one in the original Player's Handbook, and they're all in this book as well.
Some of those great spells on there. If you want to go back one, Jay.
I can't go backwards, unfortunately.
Nistel's Flash. It's a first level spell.
Oh yeah.
It's like a blinding spell, and even if you make your save, it disorients you for a certain amount of rounds. So you're like -2 to hit, -2 damage, and stuff like that. It's a great spell. It's really underutilized, and that's one of the things that she has really latched onto, and she carries always 2 or 3 of those with her.
Like the magic flashbang.
Exactly. The flashbang grenade is exactly what it is.
It's a great use of a low-level spell to blind, and it's not overpowering at first level. And normally you get 2 people with it. You get 2 archers in the back or 2 someones that you really want to stop from shooting missile weapons in or doing something. You don't want to cast it on your own. It's friend or foe, so you don't want to cast it on your own.
But it's a small area effect.
I think it's 10 foot diameter. I think. It may be 15 if I recall. But so Otto-Luke has a lot of good spells too. A lot of screens. Boiling Oil Bath was one that John liked a lot, if I remember. Tim, your dad used it a lot, and he used Acid Cloud and Smoky Sphere. Tim, you use, if I recall.
I use that.
Okay. I think Tim does too. You both use that one as well.
So that first Greyhawk match I tried, when she only took named spells, her first 2 spells she had was Nistel's Flash and Otto-Luke's Smoky Cloud.
Smoky Sphere, yep.
Smoky Sphere, and those are, I mean, at low level, they're really they'll keep you alive for a few minutes.
Yep. Yep.
I had Ash Ball, I believe.
What's that?
I think I had Ash.
Ash Cloud.
Ash Cloud, yeah.
Yeah. Very similar. Otto. Most Otto spells are, Tin Soldiers we've used occasionally, but a lot of it's sound-based. So Drums of Despair is good. So you got to have fun with it, guys, and that's what I mean. This is an RP opportunity to create a unique spellcaster mage. So Otto's list is there.
Vibrations.
Yes.
You make a living on that.
The baddie Rari is the only one I ever found in a Dragon magazine. So we have Rari's Vicious Missiles at 8th. We have Rari's Hesitation at 5th. And then all the rest of Rari's spells besides Mnemonic Enhancer are in the Greyhawk Adventures book as well. So those are the 2 that I added onto this list. So we got some added there. Tensor, you're going to ask what DMO is. Now, DMO is a book I don't use, but that spell's in there, so I have to. It's Dungeon Master's option, super high-level adventuring or something. It was a 2nd edition. Tensor's Telling Blow does 20 die 8 plus 20 damage. It's 9th level, and its range is sight. Yeah. It's a nasty spell. I have it written up.
Siltolate.
Yeah, basically it is, and that's so. But Tensor's Destructive Resonance is in the player's option book, and everyone knows the floating disc. But and Transformation. Tensor's got some great spells in this book, really good ones. Running Warrior is one of the most, as everyone else will say, but Bill, the most imbalancing items in the game. Bill's character Marcus says Tensor's boots of the Running Warrior he got in Return of the Eight. That's pretty nasty, those things. So,
he's pet.
All right, now some other ones that have lists. Leomund, of course, because I have to say Len Lakofka wants a show. Here are his spells. So he has them in different references all over the place, but there's 6 Leomund spells. And then there's 2 Melf spells, and that's it. Now, here's my question to everyone, particularly Gaetano, who's a scholar, Carlos. If you guys know of any of these named spells that I don't have, please let me know where they are, okay? So if you say, hey, Dragon 220 has a bunch of Melf spells in it, let me know, because I will use them and add them, all right? Just asking, hey, if you know where they are. We want to enhance this list more. There's other spellcasters that I've written up that are not as that are ripped off, that are Forgotten Realms people. The 2 that I see the most, Odine's got 5 spells, and Laral, which is definitely Forgotten Realms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. Laral's Raging Griffin's a huge spell we use. Dancing Whip is one. One of these absorbs damage, doesn't it? Alan? Am I thinking of something else?
Which of what?
What's a spell? That's a spell that absorbs damage. Is that one of the
Siloon's Viper?
That's Siloon, a Siloon spell. Okay, all right. So Siloon's another one. So we're not adverse to pulling out some spells, but we like to have the named spells out there. So if you guys know of any others, okay, thanks, man. Yeah, because I've done the research. I haven't really found any more. I just want to make sure they're not completely imbalancing, but we want to add in as many as we can to this to make this class super cool. So, what do you guys think about that? You guys think?
I like it.
Yeah, it's I think it's awesome. And this is a team effort here, so don't think that Jay does everything in my campaign. Bill's created stuff. Alan's created stuff. Tim has created chaos. No, I'm kidding, Tim. That was. Tim has been the playtester extraordinaire. Let me put it to you that way, right? We know when Tim is overusing something that we need to do something about it. So
I don't usually overuse.
That's why are cantrips not be %?
Well, that was, if you recall, it was like there was a delay, and what happened was you changed the rules, so now it's irrelevant.
Exactly. But that's okay, man. I'm just busting.
Well, it's a way to get a lock. It's a way to get a ring out of a locked box that you're carrying on your waist, and you need to put it here.
Absolutely.
To keep thieves from doing it.
Or the wands out of your quiver. Yeah, I'm just being a smart ass. Even the other Bill helped create the Shield Thane. He did the Shield Thane class, and your dad compiled all the druids for us, spells. So everyone contributes here, and everyone does things, and I'm more than happy to, listen to the changes. And like, for example, when something is imbalanced, we have this argument for a long time. Hey, Shadowcads, how are you? We have had this argument going on for 40 years. All right, I'm going to digress again. And it just got finalized in the last 2 or 3 adventures. And that would be what, Alan?
Is it the Assassin?
Yes. So go over what we have decided.
There's not 2 assassination attempts if you're a 2-fisted fighter.
Yeah, only in the first attack.
Right.
Plus, you either do the backstab damage or the assassination damage, not both.
Yeah, I'm still not a big fan of that.
Okay.
I think this. Well, I know you just don't necessarily agree, but an assassination attempt is not necessarily an attack. It's an attempt to get somebody assassinated. So,
right. I like the other way, especially for bounty hunters who are knocking out.
Right.
That bounty hunters should have gotten it, but I will abide by the majority. And Alan and I are in the minority on this. We got Tim and Bill and Marco on the other side.
I don't think that assassins or bounty hunters should get the same damage that a thief gets on a backstab. They have their specialty, and their big pal is, hey, I can kill somebody in one shot. You shouldn't also get the thief ability to do a lot of damage on one shot.
So you're saying they should never get it?
Well, it's kind of like half damage for your save, right? You don't die, but you do take the
something like that, or even or make them like if a 10th level thief is either 3 or 4 times, I don't know, but a 10th level assassin should be 1 or 2 times.
Well, the assassin is a couple levels lower in thief class.
Not in backstab.
Not on backstab. It's only on thief ability.
They are murderers.
Exactly. So I think that you have a huge benefit of either knocking somebody out for turns or killing somebody outright. You can't also get you know what, I still do.
The assassin originally should have been an NPC.
Agreed.
Right, and that's why the bounty hunter came up.
Yeah.
But still, the reality is, if you get knocked out for 3 turns, you're dead.
Right, and so in theory. And the bounty hunter was my changeover to allow people to play assassin type characters back in the day. So it's still, as we can see, I guess this hasn't been finalized. So after 40 years, we're still trying to figure this one out.
Keep in mind, it has been 40 years because the assassin has been only a PC up until NPC up until what, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, we're yes, yes.
That's why now it's all of a sudden coming to the forefront.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of Bill. It's all Bill's fault. I think we can all agree on that.
Yes, well, absolutely. Yes, that's so true. So that was one I thought that we've been discussing for so long, and had been filed. Apparently not. So
no.
Back to mages. All right, you have your circle of 8, all great. Spellcasters in their own right. Let me start this up so it starts to move again. All right. So, and then you have your Grey Elk Mage. You have your Elementalist. You
Wild
have
Mage.
Wild Mage. You have Illusionist. You have
Necromancer.
Shadow Mage. We forgot Necromancer as well.
Necromancer.
You have all those different non-clerical based spellcasters to choose from. 6 different elementalists. Wild Mage on its own, really nasty. I was watching Mike Wilson's game on his temple, and that only went off on 3-6. That fireball. I'm like, is that a Wild Mage? And it was. So in 2E on Fantasy Grounds, the Wild Mage is in there, which is cool. What a shame. But on that low surge. So we have a whole different plethora, and we think we've been able to enhance the base mage with the proficiencies, items, and some other fun tidbits. But in your own campaign, guys out there, you do what you talk to your players, and if they say there's an issue, you address it. That's that simple. If they say there's no issue, then you don't need to worry about it. That's the way we do things. You got to make things better for your players. That's how your players stick around. It's a team. It's a joint effort. If you don't listen to what your players have to say, you're not going to have a group.
And not be too sensitive, because it's not like a knock on a DM if somebody wants to change something or wants a full thing. So so if somebody wants to change something, Jay doesn't ever react like, "Well, what are you saying?"
Well, there is always the no, just no emote though, guys. So that comes out occasionally. The tier 3 no, just no of the old Bill with his finger somewhere. But in an instance, sometimes it has to come out, but not that often.
Yeah.
Less and less as we have gotten more calmer in our old age, let's say. So spellcasters are a good thing. We're doing very well with them, and All right, so no, here's the thing. Shadowcade Artificer is a 5e thing, so I'm gonna defer to a 5e answer out there. Is that a mage? I don't know. I don't want to tell you something because we are the old school streamers out here, the old 1e, 2e guys. So I don't want to give you an incorrect answer. And I know none of us know that.
Sounds like an enchanter type thing.
It sounds like an enchanter, which is a mage. If it's an enchanter, it's a mage then. So we count if it's an enchanter, right? So Artificer's its own class according to Dorgrim, and Dorgrim knows everything. Dorgrim's the one that figured the IMIX riddle out, so he knows. All right, Dorgrim, thanks a lot for that answer. I really appreciate that. What's that? It's Twix. So, yeah, more like a tinker. There you go.
It could have been Twix, by the way.
It could have been Twix, absolutely. That was the irony of things. I didn't even realize that. So, guys, you have any questions for us out there before we go into, we're almost finished up here. Do we go into our announcement phase? Let me see if anyone, I'm going to pop out there some stuff. Just note, once again, we're off on our normal Thursday night stream. It's Thanksgiving in the U.S., and we're all off. So it'll be a Thursday night without us. And considering how last Thursday night was such a smashing hit, it'll be upsetting, but we'll all be eating turkey and then sleeping afterwards because of the all the food we stuffed our faces with. So, oh, your crit and fumble table. Where is that from? That is from the mind of Alan. That's another Alan creation, the critical hit and fumble table.
Okay, no.
The one now is.
Oh, the current one is absolutely.
Yes.
And the special one for Tim is also.
Yes, we have he has a special one, has special Tim effect.
That is not approved by me.
So we have, yes, the critical hit table is Alan's making, in its form now of all the special things on it. And also, Tim has his own based on, go ahead, Tim, describe yours.
It's, there was a website that was for Warhammer, and Warhammer is much grittier, and combat is very, very much more lethal. So the criticals are just atrocious. And there was a couple doctors that put together a critical hit, and I thought they were so horrible that I incorporated them into D&D.
And at the end of the first time we did our Saturday Night Special, Dervilia really hit a crit, and
Dervilia got an awesome crit and destroyed the pit feet.
Yeah, tore him in half basically with that critical. Alan, Tim's criticals are a little bit nastier than yours because
no doubt about it. I mean, his is cut yourself shaving. Consult Limlaw's table.
Thunder, it's home brewed, and it's based on an original critical hit table that I think Roger Moore did back in the day, and it was very basic, and I think it only went up to 20, didn't it, Alan?
No, it was 100, but there was tons of repeats.
Yeah,
I think a lot of no effective helms and.
Okay, if you look at my original, last time I sent you my D&D folders.
Yeah, the original one's there. It's out to 100.
What a critical hit old, I think. No, it's not. It's not even it.
I don't think.
I had a photocopy.
There it is. I have it.
I have one that was in a Commodore 64 printer.
Yeah, I think this is yours that you printed out. I have it as critical hit parentheses very old.
Yeah, like up to 62 is triple damage, and it doesn't even get special until after that.
Right, okay. It goes 1 to 26 is double. 27 to 50 is triple. And then it starts going into the ear removed, eye removed, nose removed, shield removed, shield armor removed.
Helmed, and then there's some that they affect even if you have helm.
Yeah, and the thing I didn't like about that was that it wasn't randomized. So, if you're rolling, well, it could be something awesome.
Yeah, you chunked there a little bit. So our critical hit tables are based on 20 years of over 20 years of gameplay and effects, and we all know that the greatest one ever was the Gilthanist massive critical where he did 144 points on one hit. What's that?
Nobody cares.
I think a lot of it has to do with just the amount of rolling that's going on there, Thunder, and it just seems. But like we were very light on crits and fumbles on Thursday, I thought. At least I was. I didn't get any.
No, I don't remember there being a lot either way.
So Thunder, what happened there is there's a massive critical where you roll 2 to 3 times on the table and they stack.
Either one. Depends on what you roll. There's 1 or 3 times.
But if you re-roll that, then you get 1 on every table. You roll 10. It's like the hit of your life. And so we had one of those about 2 months ago online. And everyone hates Gilthanas Markham. He's like one of the top 3 most hated characters. The campaign behind Michael Baton at number 1 and Fritz at number 2, probably. And Gilthanas is 3? Or is Gilthanas 2, Alan? What do you think?
Fritz doesn't even bother me. He's like a non-entity.
So Gilthanas is 2?
Gilthanas is 1, in my opinion. Well, no, Michael Baton is 1. Gilthanas is 2. And I would say that then there's a big drop-off.
Okay. So
Fritz is just Fritz to me is not much different than Drippy.
Yeah, but Drippy's not Drippy's not character neutral. So
well, I'm interested in trying to incorporate criticals into spells as well.
Oh God, my God!
Because I mean, why do fighters just hit a critical? Magic missile would be a critical, right? And
as long as we don't have 1 hour rounds, I'm fine with it. Right?
Won't be one. Oh, hey, last time we only had 1 critical, and because I was using a sliding table based on the difference between the fighters, it ended up being a +2 damage or something.
Yeah, but just remember this, Thunder, with the ability of the hero point, the special hero point from Cheers, a lot of the player characters can alleviate these massive shots by implementing a point to lower that just to a normal hit. Yeah. So that you have to take that into account too against the heroes. And come on, everyone loves a player character massively damaging something. It works in our game.
Nothing good for player characters.
Yeah. Of course, that is a lie. So, there's you gotta. Hey, you want them to. I'm not out to kill the characters.
Receiving them doesn't do anything for them.
Yeah, you're pretty nice, Thunder, not worrying about fumbling. I love fumbling. Fumbling is, wild mages, of course, you have to. Fumbling is the
great equalizer.
Yeah, of a super massive dual fisted fighter. Yeah, absolutely. And wild mages, the largest damage we ever did was the NPC Jacqueline Teitelman. She did a magic missile. She's 11th level, so that was 6 die 4 plus 6. She surged, and everyone within a 50-foot radius got the magic missile damage on them. That's what the surge was, and it was like 20 people in that area. That was the largest surge we've ever had. It was crazy, friend or foe. So we've also had some other things with wild mages. She dropped 2 of the party and 3 or 4 of the baddies in that. Yeah, I mean they didn't get killed. They got put in the negative.
Included her too, right?
It was close. Yeah, it was in her too. Yeah. Yeah. So that was a good one on that. All right, guys, it's been a good night. Why don't we talk about some announcements? We'll start with Tim. What do you got going on, man? In addition to that, Saturday Night Special.
Yeah. In addition to that?
Yeah, you got anything else fun going on? What are you working on? You're working on a new class. What is it?
I'm working on a commando.
Yep.
So it's the fighter, the light fighter. So that'll be featured in the next Saturday Night Special.
Good.
Balance there.
But it'll be on the good guy side.
On the good guy side.
Awesome. So, guys, Tim will be DMing for the 3rd time in the last 25 years in our for our high level, and these characters are super high. Dervelia, my PC's 13th level Cavalier, and a lot of people are 12th. You know, there's some high level characters in that one. So that'll be on the 14th Saturday. We'll have a fun one there, and it'll all be here.
I'm really hoping the critical. I'll be making sure I dust off that table.
My God! I'm scared to death of that critical hit, man. So some death expected. The answer is yes, Thunder. I'd say some death is expected in this one. Tim is saying it's going to be a nasty fight. So
this one will demonstrate why you guys don't trust me, you're not always paranoid.
Yes, absolutely. But it sounds like we're gonna have a full crowd. So is your dad coming?
Yeah, he should be there. Yeah.
Wow.
Val will be there.
Excellent. That's gonna be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, Katana, thanks for saying that. So that's what's going on with Tim. Alan, you're just playing, and what else? Anything else exciting going?
I'll be there the 5th.
Yes, I'm going to talk about it in a second. All right. Yep. Alan, you'll be here on the 5th next time, right?
Yep.
Okay. So Alan, whenever Alan comes up with an idea, he runs with it, and I just look at it, and go, "Hey, let's write it up and approve it." So, all right, here's what's going on, guys. We are off until next Sunday. Sorry, but it is holiday time and Thanksgiving. I work only 2 days next week, and then we're going to take some time, well-deserved time off. Mark's on an off week, so Mark's group isn't playing. So the next show on here will be next week's Gabbin. Number 73 is not in Greyhawk, okay, and that is Jason Zavoda's idea. We're going to talk about all the classic, and there's some epic modules that we have placed in Greyhawk that we have run that are not Greyhawk. So like Dark Tower, Fortress Elendar, Tomb of Abathor, Alan's favorite, Chaos Rising, because of what Kroger did to the well. Okay. and some others.
And Tim, you agree with me that was not evil, right?
Poisoning a well to kill, to poison an entire army. Just depends.
Yeah, so
yeah. So that's what that'll be our next time on, and we're gonna talk about that idea. I know Jason Zavoda likes Ruins of Undermountain. I've never played it. Marco's running Gates of Firestorm Peak right now. And so, hey, thank you so very much for that follow. Yeah, we won't hit our goal this month because we're not on again until December. So, but we are getting there as far as we're getting there. We're getting really up there. We're getting over 100 followers a month, and thank you so very much for that. So after that, so we're off till next Sunday. So guys, please enjoy Thanksgiving. Marco will be on Monday. Let me see if this works right. Marco's adventure, he'll continue Gates of Firestorm Peak, which obviously if Marco comes on the Gabbin show, he'll talk about it because that is not a Greyhawk adventure, but it's set in the Crown Hills and the Lortma Mountains of Greyhawk. So, yes. So Gaetano, Tim's a huge Judges Guild guy, and if Tim's on next week, he'll be talking about some stuff. So, oh, you guys, I'm getting there, Thunder. I am getting there, man. All right, so after that, Thursday, December 5th, the day before PAX starts. All righty. Let me make sure. Okay, I already put this up. Heroes of Greyhawk Night to kick off PAX Unplugged. I am DMing at PAX Unplugged Friday morning. I'm doing Horror of the Hools. And then Saturday morning, I am doing A Delve into the Lord's Tomb, which I ran for my group about 15 years ago. All I'll say is John's character, Abdul, will never forget it, Alan. And you probably know which one it is. Don't give it away, because one of the people who's watching is going to play it. So I'll tell you afterwards what you'll remember. Yes. So that Thursday night, Anna Meyer is going to be here at my basement house playing. And we are going to play a one-shotter where Anna's actually playing a character. So I have Anna Meyer in my house, guys. Think about that. And we're going to have the group The Windborn, and that'll kick off PAX Unplugged the night before. And it'll be Bill, the Master Crafter, is making up custom things for this, which he's going to bring to me next weekend beforehand. Oh, yes, the Heroes of Greyhawk Night, that'll be streamed, absolutely. Oh, yes, definitely. So, we will we'll kick off PAX next Thursday on the 5th, Thursday after Thanksgiving. Yes, that is a streamed event, and I'm excited about that. And we got a lot going on. And here's the last announcement. Our fundraiser, which we did last year, which was 16 hours mega stream, titled Orbs of the Dragonkind. Next year, mark the date, February 15th, Saturday, February 15th, 2020 will be our 20-hour mega stream this year, 5 channels. It'll start at 4 a.m. If Carlos is still on, Carlos is starting it off at 4 a.m. in the morning. With Tim says he's volunteered to play in it because you'll be up.
If he doesn't have anybody,
he wants you in already. Yes, right. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, I'm wearing a shirt. I'm gonna wear a shirt. So I have. By the way, everyone, I have a special gift for everyone that Thursday night. You may figure that one out from what I sent to you and choose something. So
I have figured it out.
Yes, 20 hours of gaming across 5 channels. CASL Entertainment at 4 a.m. 8 a.m. It'll either be back on my channel or on Jacob Jansen's channel, but it'll be this Mark's Group Slap over there. So that's 8 a.m. 12 noon, Wicked Studios LLC. 4 p.m. Nightheart Gaming. And then 8 p.m. back on our channel for the finale. It's either going to be called Revenge or Return of the Falcon. So if any of you know the WGA series, that's where it comes from. So, and it's yes, there you go. See, Carlos said yes with Tim. 4 a.m. Carlos Lysing, the great Carlos Lysing, will be kicking it off.
All right.
And we are excited. So, guys, we're going to call it a night here. Yes. Thank you all. We'll all see you in a week. Yes. See, Dorgam, I got your fancy on that one. We already had our first meeting on yesterday about it. It's going. We're going to have advertising out there. We want to at least double the amount of money we get. We got over $1,000 last year. I'll say this. I have made a submission to some company to sponsor the whole shebang. You guys can figure out who that is. I don't want to say, but I'm hoping that they say yes, and then we get their participation as well, and that'll make it even better. So keep that in mind, guys. Any final thoughts from you two? Thank you. No, thanks for coming on, man. That was fun.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a great discussion.
I like the Greyhawk match. I like the straight match. I think it's my favorite match. Favorite blend of match.
Well, but you're an all around kind of guy, so absolutely. But thank you. I can't wait for. We'll see you in a week. Like I said, that is not Greyhawk. Because next time you'll see us, I'll put the ads out probably the day after Thanksgiving. So guys, have a nice Thanksgiving holiday. Don't eat too much, but have fun. Have fun with your family, and we'll see you in a week. All right. Have a good one, guys.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
1 second here. Boom, 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 boom. I always hit the wrong buttons. So if you haven't already followed us, please give us a follow on Lord Gazumba. There's our other Instagram and everything else. Things have been going great. And shout outs to our sponsors, Reaper Miniatures, Miniature Building Authority, and Stratagem. All 3 of them sponsor our channel. And they're all great companies. I don't want to give away. Alan. I don't want to give away on the chat because Gitano's playing in that high level one. I don't want to give it away.
Not a problem.
Yeah, I'll tell you in a second.
Yep.
I'm hoping that in a new group of first, someone plays Greyhawk Manage, and if not, I will NPC one of the 3 in 2020. No, you're gonna no. You can't because it's so Gitano. It's so like shocking. I have to say this, man. I don't want to spoil this one for you.
Don't give it away.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you in a little while. Have a good one. Make sure I hit the button. Turn this off. Good night.